So I am very intrigued by the idea of the Star Wars Expanded Universe novels. You know what the cool thing is about the Expanded Universe novels? They basically are just fan fiction that people wrote that got published and became canon, and then became not canon when Disney was like, there's too much dumb stuff. So if I want to write a Star Wars story, it is not nerdy Star Wars fan fiction. It is a speculative expanded universe novel. So for your consideration, I have a Star Wars story for you. Let's get right to it. This is the story of a human guy, and all he wants to do is just go to the space market. It's like one of those deserty space markets, the likes of which we have never seen in Star Wars before. All he wants to do is get some corkboard for his butterfly collection. He wants to get some droid parts. But suddenly, he gets jumped by a gang of alien bounty hunters. They're like, you're our guy. There is a bounty on your head. You are wanted for stealing, for trading spice and the murder of 4 unarmed Ewoks. I am a normal guy. I have never broken the law, and I've never killed any Ewoks. So I'm out. And they're chasing him through the marketplace, and it's pretty much just like that scene from Aladdin. Actually, I would like to just steal as much stuff as I can from Aladdin without the editors noticing. He steals a sword from a sword swallower's throat. One of the bounty hunters accidentally falls on a guy that's lying on a bed of nails. It's wacky. Okay, my character is actually buying a baguette. My main character is named Din Alado. Anyway, Din gets away. He flees the planet. But on his next stop, he gets stopped by another bounty hunter. And this one is a sexy lady. She is a Twi'lek. And her name is Jazz Printela. She's here to arrest him for the exact same thing. And he's like, look, I've never done any of those things. All I want is to buy my baguette. Since this bounty hunter is a sexy lady, she's also super nice. So she's like, okay, man, you seem like you're telling the truth, so I guess I believe you, but you might want to get this figured out, because there is a wanted poster circulating, and it seriously looks like identical to you. Din is like, oh my god, I'm an orphan, so what if whoever's on that poster is like my father or my brother or something? I could find my family. He's like, can you show me the wanted poster? Jazz is like, no, when I go bounty hunting, I'm off the grid. Like, it's on my space phone, but I'd have to connect to the internet, the HoloNet, to pull it up. I used to go on all these bounty hunting trips, and then right when I was about to get my guy, some other bounty hunter would track my signal and just steal my mark. I kept like tweeting and forgetting to turn the location settings off. It was honestly very embarrassing, but I'm trying to be better about it. So I'm officially off the grid until I'm done with this mission. Anyway, if you're not my guy, then you can go, and I'm gonna go. I still have to find this guy and collect my bounty. So, see ya. Din is like, oh my god, no, wait. Let me go with you. I want to find my family. If you have any more leads, then just take me along. I'll be really quiet. I can make myself very small. She feels bad, so she lets him come along. So Jazz and Din go on this wild space adventure, and they go to like a variety of whimsical and exciting planets. They can go to all your favorite planets. We could have a swamp planet. We could have an ice planet. But even though these planets are just copies of the ones that are in the movies, they have different names that I have made up because that's how you roll in an expanded universe novel. But anyway, Din can't really go anywhere without getting almost arrested by all these different bounty hunters. They see a bunch of Gungans. There's like a Max Rebo that's wearing a leather jacket, so he's really cool. There is a gang of whatever Watto is also chasing them. Finally, they do get straight up captured by some Mon Calamari. Jazz is a bounty hunter, so she kind of lives outside the law, so there's also a price on her head, so they just both are thrown in the brig together. So obviously they're feeling kind of down at this point, and Din is like, well, we might not get out and find them at this point, but since we've already been captured, do you think you could turn your phone signal back on? I'd like to see the wanted poster. I want to see my family. Jazz is like, yeah, I mean, we're already caught, so sure. She loads up the poster, and it looks nothing like him, like even a little bit. It's a white dude with brown hair, but he has a different eye color. This guy has like a cleft chin. His nose is very different. There's just 0% resemblance. And Din is like, that guy looks nothing like me. Jazz is like, well, no, the hair is just the same. Yeah, we both have brown hair. I mean, it's not even really styled the same way. And a lot of humans have brown hair. The calamari guard walks in, Din points to the poster. He's like, you think I look like this guy too? The Mon Calamari's like, what? And he pulls up his wanted poster. This one's actually a totally different white guy with brown hair. Oh my god. None of these people look like me. The guard's pointing to the picture like, huh? Like, trying to indicate that both Din and the guy in the picture are wearing blue shirts. Din is like, yeah. No. And Din realizes all of these aliens are just racist. They cannot tell humans apart. The calamari believe him, and frankly, they're feeling pretty embarrassed about the whole racist thing. So they're like, okay, if he's not our guy, we're just gonna chuck him out the airlock and be done with this. We'll keep Jazz because she has a bounty on her head, but I'd rather just make this guy go away. So they take Din to the airlock, and he uses like some Aladdin-style antics to get away. Maybe one of the guards has like a large flamboyant hat, and Din like pulls it down over his eyes, and he's like, whoa, I can't see. And then while he's distracted, Din like slides on the floor between the legs of one of the other guards and like trips him as he's doing this. There's like all these slide whistle sound effects when they fall over. It's a book, but it'll say in the narration that there's a slide whistle sound effect. I can't exactly picture how all of this goes down, but the nice thing about writing a book is that if you aren't really sure what something's gonna look like, you can just get really vague and people will just fill in the blanks. It's not important. Din runs back to the brig. He like punches the buttons to the cell. He's like, Jazz, come on, we gotta go. She steps out into the hallway and she's like, who are you? Oh my god, it's not Jazz. It's a different Twi'lek. He can't tell them apart. Din runs to the next door. He opens it. He's like, Jazz, come on, we gotta go. Jazz is like, that doesn't even look like me. Like, we're not even the same color. I'm green and she's blue. He's like, it's been a really long day. Let's go. So they get an escape pod and they're flying out into space. Basically, at this point, they do not have a plan. They brought along the other Twi'lek because she was just there. Her name is, it's like Abu. It's similar. It just is Abu. She just has the monkey's name. It's Abu. So they're flying and Din is feeling a little down because he's like, I don't have a family. Or even if I do, I'm not any closer to finding them. Jazz is also a little bummed out because, first of all, she just found out she's a racist. Also, she's like, I'm a bounty hunter and I have turned in a lot of humans over the years, and in hindsight, a lot of them probably weren't the right ones. Abu is pretty stoked. This day is going well for her so far. She can't really read a room to see that the other ones are upset, so she's just like in the corner like smiling to herself. They're all just flying out into the general direction away from the Mon Calamari, and then suddenly their ship gets pulled into a tractor beam from another ship. The ships like anchor together and they kind of look at each other and they're like, well, I guess like we might as well go confront whoever it is. We're going to have to sometime. So they board the other ship, and when they get on, there is a guy in armor and he's pointing a gun at them. It's Boba Fett. Pew, pew. Where is he? There. Boba Fett. You can just hang out here with me for several sentences until you fall. So Jazz immediately recognizes Boba Fett because he is an infamous bounty hunter. So she just straight up takes a shot at him. Nope. So she just straight up takes a shot at him, but he has very fast reflexes. So he fires back, he shoots the gun out of her hand, and her shot just kind of grazes him and doesn't affect him at all. Boba Fett is so cool, you guys. You can't really have an EU novel without Boba Fett in it. Because when Boba Fett is in it, you get to put Boba Fett on the cover. It's important to create art that appeals to people with such specific interests that they refuse to read a book, even if it's set in a universe they already know they like, unless it also visibly contains a character they're familiar with. Anyway, Boba Fett just gets grazed by the blaster. He disarms Jazz because he's awesome. He's like, okay, here's the deal, guys. The Mon Calamari are looking for you. They just put out like a radio signal. So I'm taking you all in. I'm going to turn you into them to get a bounty from them, and then they're going to turn you in to also get a bounty. Jazz goes, that's a bit weird. Bounty hunters operate that way? Boba Fett's like, yeah, I mean, they end up taking a higher cut when they turn you in, but I saved myself some travel time. Space gas is a little expensive these days, and my time is very valuable, so I feel that it makes sense for me personally. It's not for everybody, but it's really your call the way you want to conduct your business. Oh, by the way, if you've seen Boba Fett's ship, you know that the Slave One has this egg shape, and it's very tiny. It always looked extremely uncomfortable. So basically what I'm saying is I'm picturing this scene taking place in a space that's roughly the size of a small guest bathroom. They're all standing uncomfortably close to each other. And the ceiling has this severe slant to account for the egg shape I was talking about. So the characters on the side of the room are kind of standing like this to try to make themselves shorter so they don't hit their heads. Anyway, while Boba Fett is saying all this stuff, his little voice thing that's in his mask is staticky, like crazy. I said Jazz's blaster shot grazed him. It actually grazed his helmet, so it messed up his voice thingy. So they're like, we can't understand you. I think your thing is breaking. Boba Fett is pretty unhappy about this, but he takes his helmet off, and Din just stares at him. He's like, oh my god, you're the actual guy from the wanted poster. Boba Fett freezes. He's like, what? That's not possible. My father's dead. I don't have a family. Jazz is like, no, he's right. We know she's not the authority, but she's like, I can show you. She pulls out her space phone and starts to pull up the wanted poster. And then Boba Fett's like, oh, wait a second. I forgot. I'm a clone. So there's literally 1,000,000,000,000,000 people in the galaxy that look exactly like me. So I'm sure it's just one of them. Din is like, wait, so what you're saying is that there's 1,000,000,000,000 identical people in the galaxy, so any of them can commit whatever crimes that they want without fear of repercussion because it could have been any of them, and another one will probably just get arrested in their place? Boba Fett's like, yeah, it's a pretty broken universe. And then he gets stabbed through the chest with a lightsaber. Boba Fett falls to the ground, and behind him is Max Rebo in a leather jacket. Our heroes are like, oh my god, not this again. We're gonna get taken in by another bounty hunter. And Max Rebo is like, I'm sorry, what are you talking about? I've never met you before. I'm a Jedi. This guy is super dangerous and he hates Jedi, so I'm just escaping. Jazz and Din are kind of awkward, it's not the same Max Rebo. That's right, we're racist. Din's like, we are so sorry. The Max Rebo's like, no, I have an identical twin brother. He's a bounty hunter. That's probably who you ran into. This actually happens all the time. Whew, dodge that bullet. Then Jazz goes, wait a second, you're a Jedi, but you just killed that guy? Max Rebo's all like, no, he's just unconscious. He'll be fine. Our medical technology is super sophisticated in this universe. So then Jazz goes, if Boba Fett is an adult, then shouldn't all the Jedi be dead at this point in the timeline? I'm still workshopping this, you guys. It's a rough draft, so we'll solve this later. Maybe Max Rebo is Snoke or something. Yeah, anyway, then things are kind of wrapped up, and that's it. The main characters decide that they're going to just go in on this bounty hunting venture together and just capture all the clones they can find and turn them in at a lower commission to other bounty hunters to turn in for that one clone that broke the law. There aren't really any moral quandaries about this because nobody considers the clones people. And they all lived happily ever after. Oh, and you're probably like, wait, what happened with Din's parents? We never found out where his family is. Well, I hate to say this, but his family's probably dead, you guys. To find out more about Din Alato's adventures, you'll just have to buy the sequel book. That one has Jabba the Hutt on the cover, so you know it's going to be good.